Welcome to Ask and Learn.
In this problem, a student living in a room turns her 151-watt fan on in the morning. We wish to calculate the temperature in the room when she comes back 10 hours later. We assume that air is an ideal gas, that the kinetic and potential energy changes are negligible. We can use constant specific heats at room temperature for air, and all the doors and windows are tightly closed, so heat transfer is disregarded. Now, the gas constant of air, R, is equal to 0.287 kilopascals meter cube per kg Kelvin. These are from our tables. And the specific heat for air at room temperature is 0.718 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Now, we'll take the room as the system, and the system is closed since the doors and windows are said to be tightly shut, and no mass can enter the system or leave the system. So we can hence write the energy balance equation for the system as the energy in minus the energy out is equal to the change in energy of the system, delta E. The contributions of these energies is only due to the electrical energy from the fan. So we have the work done by the fan, WE in, is responsible for the change in internal energy in the room, delta U. And delta U can be written as M, the mass of air, into the specific internal energies of state 2 minus state 1, which is in the morning. So we can write this as M times the specific heat, C, multiplied by a change in temperature, T2 in the afternoon minus T1 in the morning. Now, to use this equation, we will firstly find the mass of the air. So the mass of air, we can use the relation P1 times constant volume V over R T1. And the volume V, remember, V is equal to 3 times 4 times 4, and that's 48 cubic meters. So we can substitute that into this equation. So the pressure is air pressure, 100 kilopascals. The volume is 48 cubic meters divided by the gas constant R of 0.287 kilopascal meter cubed per kg Kelvin. And the temperature T1 in the morning is 293 Kelvin. So the mass of air we find is 57.08 kg. Now that we have the mass of air, we can go back to, but before we go back to that equation, to the energy balance equation, we know that the work done by the fan, the electrical work done, WE, is equal to the rate at which the work is done, the power output of the electric fan, multiplied by delta T. So we are given the power output as 0.1 kilowatts or 0.1 kilojoules per second, and a time of 8 hours, and each hour has 3,600 seconds. And so we get the work done, the electrical work done by the fan, to be 2,880 kilojoules. Now we can go back to the energy balance equation and we can find T2. So the energy balance equation tells us that 2,880 kilojoules, the work done by the electric fan, is equal to the mass of the air, 57.08 kg, times the specific heat of air at room temperature, 0.718 kilojoule per kg degrees Celsius, times T2 minus 20 degrees Celsius. So if we rearrange this equation, we can find the final temperature of the room in the evening, and T2 is equal to 90.3 degrees Celsius. So we note here that the fan actually causes the internal temperature of the confined space to rise.